I'm at the top of Saddleworth Moor, which is a place where, as you can see, people bring their families. And that's what this video is about today, because if you have 1,000 children and you don't want to put them in the back of a van, well, you're pretty limited with the sort of car that, well, the family car that you can buy for them. You've got the Kia EV9, you've got the Hyundai Ioniq 9 new, the VW ID.Buzz and the Mercedes EQS SUV. Now, considering in Starmer's Britain, going outside costs £30 alone, just to, you know, breathe in. I mean, that's about £700 that I've just breathed in there. So the car that actually makes most sense, the 7-seater that's the most sensible out of all of these, is this, the Peugeot E9008. Yeah, I'm saying that a Peugeot's better than a Hyundai, a Mercedes, a Kia and a VW. No, genuinely. The Peugeot E9008 is built on Stellantis' medium-sized STLA platform, which is the same platform as the Citroën C5 Aircross and the Vauxhall Grandad. Video review up there of the Vauxhall. But unlike the Vauxhall, this is just a really distinctive, good-looking car. Now, what do I mean by good-looking? Well, obviously beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and me being a very stylish man, then I'm obviously well placed to comment on this. But like the regular 5008 and the smaller E3008, you've got these lion's claws, well, they're supposed to be lion's claws lights here. And you know what? I think that's pretty cool, simply because Peugeot is the oldest existing car maker in the world. They were founded in 1810, and back then that was when they introduced the Lion badge, and you know, 130, well, basically more than 100 years later, they are still using it here, and they're leaning into that past too. And you can find these sort of slash effect lights on the regular 5008 and the smaller 3008 and all-electric E3008. The same goes for the floating grille here, which is really nice to touch, genuinely. Nice and tactile. Modern take on the Peugeot badge, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Obviously, being a stylish man, as you can see here, I'm in a position to comment on aesthetics and design. Now, you've probably seen so far that the E5008 has more real estate than Donald Trump. And that should translate into quite a lot of range. And, well, to be honest with you, yeah, the range is decent. Considering this is also a single motor car. It'll do 311 miles on a single charge. And all this comes from a 73 kilowatt hour battery, which is mounted up front. And on the drive here, so over the course of the week that I've had this, it's not class leading, but I've managed 3 miles per kilowatt hour. I will caveat that by saying that it's been on a lot of up and downy roads and this, that and the other. So I reckon on some level ground, this would do about 3.4 miles per kilowatt hour. If you do have one of these, let me know what you think, because I think, considering it's 2.3 tonnes, then that's quite impressive. Now, 2.3 tonnes does sound rather a lot, and it is. And, well, I've been online and I've found some other things that weigh 2.3 tonnes, starting with me, almost if I keep eating like I am at the minute. So, other things that weigh the same as this. 2.5 walruses, 2.5 Cessna 172 light aircraft, around 200 bars of gold bullion, 2 large bulls and a small calf, or 2 shipping containers. As I said earlier, nothing cheap is in Britain today. Yep, that's 300 quid. Just doing that, breathing in again. But this Peugeot E5008, this is the top tier GT model, and it's £52,140. The entry level car, the Allure, is about £4 less. So that's, to be honest with you, and you'll find out why that isn't too much money for a big 7-seater car in a moment. Assuming you are a sensible parent and you don't want to bundle your kids into the back of a van, well, the other 7-seaters that you have available in the UK are the Kia EV9, the Hyundai Ioniq 9, the Volvo EX90, the Mercedes EQS SUV version, not the sedan, or the VW ID.Buzz. Now, in terms of pricing, considering that this is 52,140, this is the cheapest of the lot, and here's why. The nearest price Kia EV9 to this video up there that we did earlier this year is almost 66,000 for the entry-level car. Remember, this is top tier, all bells and whistles. The Ioniq 9, again, entry-level, 65,000. The Volvo EX90, ooh, this gets a bit expensive now. That is £82,660 for the entry level. The EQS, however, the full name is the EQS 454matic AMG Line Premium Plus. That's over 100 grand. Like almost, it's hovering around the 130 grand figure. Oh, and the VW ID.Buzz, for the entry level car, for the entry level car again, that's £56,000. So, if you are looking for a big family 7-seater, and this is not bad at all, as we'll look inside soon, I cannot find any argument against this, especially when you look at how much it costs compared to its rivals. The interior of the E5008 is, I'm going to say, one of the best interiors around today. Not just for the price point, it's just one of the best interiors that you can buy, I would say. And the same for the E3008, where it's exactly the same. So it sort of wraps around you like this sort of spaceship. It gives this sort of spaceshipy feel with this nice carpet effect on the dashboard. You've got this 21-inch display here, which is infotainment and driver display. Again, this carpet textile follows down onto it. I don't understand why Peugeot's done this actually, because it feels like a transmission tunnel and there isn't a transmission. But I don't know, it works, it looks good, it's comfortable, somewhere nice to rest your arm. And the other thing that I'd like to mention is the iCockpit. I should have mentioned it earlier because the iCockpit is part of this 21-inch display and this tiny steering wheel. So instead of iCockpit, I'd call it I love it, because I do. Now, what Peugeot's done, and I don't understand why, I really don't understand why they've done this, but I'm not going to argue because it works. So what you do with the steering wheel is you drop it down so it's almost in your lap, and you look over it to the driver instruments here, as opposed to through it like a normal steering wheel. So if I did that, I'd be Quasimodoing, and that's really not very comfortable. So there is, I will say though, is that this doesn't have electrically adjustable seats, which it's not the end of the world, but still, if you're paying for a top spec car, you sort of expect it. I mean, the Skoda Enyaq, one of this car's main rivals, has that as standard, not even in the top spec VRS. So yeah, you do sit quite high, as you can notice, but even still, you get absolutely tons of headroom. You have, and I do quite like this, and I'm not big on in-car gimmicks, as you know we've spoken about in the past, but you can select the interior lights and they match Peugeot, well, most of Peugeot sports colours in endurance racing. Don't think, however, that this is anything like the 9X8 that they race in the World Endurance Championship, but you can switch the interior colours between various blues, a copper colour, which it's okay. But yeah, I quite like it in blue. It's nice and restful, and it's not blingy like you find in a Mercedes. Now, again, I could go on about the lack of buttons, and you know, it's 2025, and you know, the screen thing, it's not going anywhere. So can we just stop going on about it? So Peugeot, they've made the best of what they've got, and they've done this shortcuts bar here, and you can specify what you want to be down here, so you don't have to bother with screen faffery all the time. So here what I've done is I've set it to Apple CarPlay or Android Auto if you want to do that. Climate, which you can do, but it involves having to go to the main screen through here, and it's just a bit of a convoluted process to control the air conditioning, climate control. If I swipe along, ADAS, obviously first thing you do is turn it all off, which you do through the shortcut here, or you can do it through the screen, but here just saves that little bit of time. and makes it all quite, it just makes life easier. And I think ultimately that's what this car is about. Like, over the course of the last week, it's caused me no fuss, and I've been very, very busy, and I've just got in this and gone, and it's been grand. And that's all you can really ask for from a family car. These Alcantara seats as well, they're a £1,100 option, but they are really comfortable, and when you're doing serious mileage, you don't want, you don't want anything back-breaking. So if you can, opt for them. If you don't want to, you're still going to be, you're still going to have a good, comfy trip. The other thing that I think is worth noting about the indicators is, whilst these stalks look a bit flimsy compared to the rest of the cabin, these indicators, they make the nicest noise that I've heard on a car for a while. So check this out. It's nice, that, isn't it? As you can see, plenty of space in the back. I don't need to go on about how short I am. There are, for your rear occupants, there are 2 USB-C charging ports down here and another screen to control the rear climate control. In the middle, there is also a rather nice armrest where you can put your drinks as well. But again, remember, this is a 7-seater, so in the back, we have another 2 extra seats. Being a big 7-seat family car, the E5008 has loads and loads of space. So underneath here, you have underfloor storage to store your cables and just whatever else you fancy fitting under there, really. With the seats up, on this third row, you get 340 litres of boot space. You put them down, you get 916 litres. If you fold those down and the second row down, this will grow to 2,232 litres. So not only does this serve as a 7-seat family car, if you really, really want to do some load lugging, put the second and third row down and you've basically got yourself a really, really nice looking van. Right, 210 brake horsepower, 0 to 60 time of just under 10 seconds. 3 drive modes, Eco, Normal and Sport. Do not think by any stretch that this is a sports SUV. I put it in sport mode the other night, tried to drive it like a Porsche Cayenne, and I experienced torque steer, oversteer, understeer, all at the same time, none of which was very nice. So just keep it in Eco, you'll get the most mileage, and it's at its softest and most pleasant. Would I recommend the Peugeot E5008? Yeah, absolutely. It's good looking. It's really, really well made. It drives perfectly comfortably, unless you put it in sport mode. And, it undercuts the opposition by some serious money. And, if you're looking for a family car, what more do you want?